We stood here about 3 hours or so ago, and you talked about the trepidation you felt, mostly because of the goaltender at the other end of the ice, and maybe he was the difference.
I mean, okay, so Buffalo has 8 wins this season. This guy has 7. His record's 7-5 now.
Right, with 3 extra time losses.
Yeah, but I mean, what does that tell you about how good he is? Robin Leonard was there a few years ago and played really well, but it went unnoticed because Buffalo was doing so poorly. And then he goes to the Islanders, he's outstanding. He goes to Chicago, he's outstanding. This guy's also going to be an unrestricted free agent. There's a lot of motivation from a player to player when your team is doing this poorly in the standings. You know the season's over, you're mathematically eliminated, which makes these guys very dangerous. On a player-to-player level, I knew this guy was going to be ready to go, and Ullmark didn't disappoint. This game took a huge bite out of the Rangers, right? And I'm not talking about just in the standings, which, yes, that hurts. That point hurts. They also physically had to go to overtime twice against the Buffalo Sabres, and they had some really tough moments on the penalty kill, where it wasn't that Buffalo was having them run around with chances, but it was physically taxing. I thought this game was taxing on the Rangers. You could see it in overtime. Everybody was pretty beaten down. And now you've got 2 days off, which is the good news, and then you get ready for back-to-backs against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Rangers have played the Sabres 6 times this season. 5 of the 6 games have ended 3-2. This one in a shootout, so both teams gave up 2 over 65 minutes. We also talked in the pregame about the importance of getting to 3. Rangers couldn't get there, and all of their scoring, both of the goals, came from one guy, and that's Artemi Panarin.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I mean, all 17 of the Rangers' wins this year, they've had 3 or more goals scored. Panarin is always involved. He's worth every penny the Rangers paid him, and I'm not, in this to spend anybody's money, but you have to pay for goals. You have to buy goals, and goals are expensive, and that's why Panarin is $11.5 million worth of a hockey player. But he gets the ice up through the middle often, where he takes his own path. And that's why the Rangers like him too, because he can bring the puck through. Now we've got the funnel play where it's funnel in, funnel out, and he finds himself in the right spot. And it's like Gretzky often said, right, John? You have to go to where the puck isn't, and then it is. And you can see the traffic there in front that Ullmark has to deal with. Panarin pots the first one of the game, but he also comes through again for the second with good support from Strome and Kakko. Now there's a scissor play here that also adds a little bit of confusion, and it's a smart shot off the blocker. I like that play because it's an easy puck recovery for the Rangers. They get it back, and now it's quickly low to high. You want to move it east to west, so everybody has to shift and move, and this is exactly the point where the goalie thinks the shot's coming, and a lane opens. You get a pass above the stick because of all of the build-in before the goal happens. You get the point there for Fox's great pass. The Rangers are rolling at this point. Really unfortunate that they weren't able to close.
Yeah, so that goal came with 2:08 remaining in the second period. Rangers took the lead into the third. They held it until inside the final 4 minutes. And we've heard Joe Micheletti say all 6 broadcasts this year, Rangers against the Sabres, just how deadly, lethal that wrist shot is from Victor Olofsson.
Yeah.
And he didn't have much time or space to take it, but he took advantage of his opportunity.
He's an outstanding shooter. He's one of the few pure shooters that you always have to be aware of in your pre-scout. He's one of the players that a lot of teams around the league really covet. I don't know if Buffalo's going to give him up, but with the deadline coming up on the 12th, it's Sam Reinhart, it's Taylor Hall. So you have to understand, again, I mean, these guys are self-motivators, and they want to find ways to stand out. How can you actually show yourself above everybody else on the team? And he was able to do that, and he's going to get some calls for it. Kravtsov was awesome here. I mean, I can't believe it. It would have been scripted had he just nailed this one, but he did everything he could to get himself into a position to score there. He found his way through this game. There was moments where he looked a little young defensively, but he found his way through the game, and I thought the coaching staff did a nice job of getting him back out there. Keep playing, kid, and he had the right attitude, and it showed well.
That was a spectacular save by Linus Ullmark, getting his right arm on what was a tremendous effort from Vitaly Kravtsov to try to even the score. That was with 2 minutes left in the game.